Roanoke Colony, the mystery solved. Have you heard about the lost colony of Roanoke? Did it ever exist, or did it not? Various historians have come forward with their own explanations and theories in an attempt to solve the mystery. In this video, I talk about the work of one particular historian, David Beers Quinn, whose theory was so compelling and all-encompassing that it seemed to solve the whole puzzle. And it's only when you're exposed to different ideas, different ways of thinking about things, and different facts that you realize that every theory has its flaws. And eventually, you realize that there is no neat and tidy solution, but rather a diverse set of conclusions that can all ultimately be true. Roanoke Island Colony was an English settlement located in what is now North Carolina. On August 27, 1587, John White, the governor of the Roanoke Island Colony, set sail for England to acquire desperately needed supplies and reinforcements to bring back to the colony, which was struggling at the time. His return to Roanoke in 1588 was delayed due to the Spanish Armada, a massive Spanish fleet that sailed to northern Europe to invade England. To combat this threat, the English government was required to use all of the ships at its disposal. When White eventually returned to Roanoke Island on August 18, 1590, he discovered that the colony had been abandoned. The only clues to the colonists' fate were the words Croatoan, carved on a barrier post in Crow, engraved on a tree. White was unable to determine what had happened to the people. White could not reach Hatteras Island due to a storm, so he was obliged to return to England. White was under the impression that they had gone to Croatoan Island, which is today known as Hatteras Island. He could not acquire the necessary funds to finance another rescue operation, and ever since then, the location and condition of the colonists have remained unknown. After more than 400 years have gone, do historians still have any clues as to what happened to the Roanoke colony that mysteriously disappeared? When the English colony of Jamestown was established in what is now Virginia in the year 1607, more searches for survivors were carried out. However, nobody was successful in finding anybody. Although it is uncertain whether these records are true, according to modern-day historians, some English records claim that the Chief Powhatan, who led many of the Native Americans who lived in what is now eastern Virginia, confessed that he had many of the colonists killed. About 115 colonists arrived in Roanoke, and among those who were never seen again were White's daughter and son-in-law, as well as his granddaughter Virginia Dare. She was the first English colonist born in North America. White's daughter and son-in-law were among the colonists who perished. According to William Kelso, who served as the retired head of archaeology and research at the Jamestown Rediscovery Foundation, the colonists' fate is the largest unresolved enigma in American history. This information was sent to Live Science in an email. From an archaeological standpoint, not only do we not know where they went, but we also do not know where they originated. In the past, archaeologists believed that the colony was located at what is now the Fort Raleigh National Historic Site. However, this theory has been called into question because some of the artifacts found at Fort Raleigh date to a time after the colony disappeared, indicating that they are most likely not associated with the lost colonists. There are many different hypotheses regarding what happened to the colonists, including the possibility that they were attacked by Native Americans or the Spanish, who were at war with England then. The colonists had a settlement in what is now Florida at St. Augustine, which the English had recently attacked. Another theory says that the colonists all perished from sickness or famine. Alternately, the colonists may have allied themselves with a tribe of neighborly Native Americans, with whom they intermarried and had offspring. One such theory is that some of the survivors boarded boats in an attempt to make their way back to England, but they were unsuccessful. An assistant professor of anthropology at James Madison University named Dennis Blanton said in an email that efforts to answer the issue are going to rest on numerous lines of archaeological evidence or potentially genetic data as well. Items from the late 16th century have been discovered on Hatteras Island by an archaeological team from the University of Bristol working in conjunction with a local archaeology group. It is possible that these artifacts belong to the Roanoke colony. These include pieces of German pottery, a rapier handle, and a Nuremberg counter, sometimes known as a coin. Roanoke Island also yielded coins with the same design. According to a statement the archaeologists distributed in 2015, these discoveries lend credence to the idea that at least some colonists made it to Hatteras Island. Furthermore, it begs the question of whether or not any of them intermarried with the native population of the island, who were known as the Croatoan people. In addition, Archaeologists working for the First Colony Foundation in North Carolina have been excavating 2 locations on the mainland in Bertie County, North Carolina, known as Site X and Site Y. At these locations, European ceramics from the 16th century have been found, which raises the possibility that they belong to the colonists who went missing. A map from the late 16th century that is now housed in the British Museum in London shows 2 fort symbols near the 2 sites. This finding lends credence to the theory that the Roanoke colonists were aware of these locations and intended to construct forts there at some point in the future. According to a statement released by the First Colony Foundation in 2012, the fort symbols cannot be seen with the unaided eye, but were discovered via the use of imaging technology. Researchers believe that local people who lived in the village that is situated next to Site X may have helped to safeguard Roanoke colony survivors. In an email to Live Science, historian James Horn, President and Chief Officer of the Jamestown Rediscovery Foundation, shared his interpretation that the settlers were protected by the powerful Chowanoks who lived along the north bank of the Chowan River. My interpretation is that the settlers were under the protection of the powerful Chowanoks, Horn said. Blanton theorized that after the destruction of the Roanoke colony, the surviving colonists could have dispersed into several distinct communities. It is not uncommon among struggling colonial groups for competing factions to emerge, Blanton told Live Science, noting that some of the colonists may have joined a Native American group. In contrast, others may have tried to survive independently. Blanton said, "It is not uncommon among struggling colonial groups for competing factions to emerge." The mere existence of unsolved mysteries is truly riveting, and there are countless tales of murderers, kidnappings, serial killers, and mysterious disappearances that have remained unresolved for decades. For some people, these stories are captivating, while others find them narratively boring. We all have our preferences on which mysteries we enjoy the most. However, each tale is captivating due to its mysterious nature, and we should be thankful for the stories that capture our attention. If you are also a big fan of the mystery genre, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel Case Closed to ensure you stay updated on some of the hottest mysteries. See you in the next video. Until then, we bid adieu.